Hello everyone, I'm back again with another Lightroom tutorial. So what I want to do now is to cover importing images into Lightroom and applying some default development settings, and perhaps apply a few keywords and copyright information as we import. So I'm going to start off in the library module here. We've got no photos in my selected catalogue, and so the way we start on this is to click on the import button, and this takes us to the import screen. And the screen has three basic sections to it. So there's this first section here on the left hand side is the source. This is the source section, and from here we can see that we've got listed all of the drives that are attached to my PC. I'm using a card reader to read my camera card, which is why it appears as another drive. It's my iDrive, but if you connected your camera to your PC, that would also appear as a drive, or you could in fact just simply copy the files off your camera to another hard disk, perhaps an external hard disk that you can then attach to your PC, and you can import the photos from there. So that's the source panel. Notice that I've got on here eject after import, so I can then, once I've imported the photos, I can safely remove the card. The next thing we have in the center here is this big panel. It shows us all of the photos that we're going to import, and then I then have two options. I can either copy them as a DNG file, or I can just going to do a straight copy. DNG is Adobe's digital negative, and it's simply a way of providing a standard RAW format for the image. I am not altogether convinced of a good reason for doing it. Adobe do say you can save up to 20% on the size of the file that you import by copying it to a DNG, but with storage so cheap these days, I don't see any real benefit in that. So this is by default is showing me all of the photos that are on that card. Now if I was going to reuse this card and go and do another shoot, then I could say to it, I can only show me those new photos that I've not already got in my catalogue, but because I haven't got any in this particular catalogue, it's going to show me everything. And similarly, what I can do is I can show a view which will show me how the images are going to be created on my hard disk. So I've got 2 days worth of photos here. Some photos taken on the 7th of March, which are in this top section up here, and then some other photos which were taken in South Wales. So I'm going to copy these, and I'm going to copy all of those photos. Then the last panel, which is over here on the right, is to do with my destination. So this is going to be where I'm going to copy my photos, how I'm going to name them, and anything I want to apply to any photos when I import them. So if we expand up the file handling, now for performance reasons, or if you're using Lightroom Mobile, you would want to have some smart previews created that you can then take offline and start editing. And this is, if you check that, that's how you create those smart previews upon import. I don't have Lightroom Mobile, so I don't bother with that. I do have don't import suspected duplicates. So let's suppose I was going to reuse this card, and I was on either all photos or destination folders, and I'd already imported some of these. Well, I don't want to import those again. So so I'm going to leave that one checked as don't import selected duplicates. And then I've got the option to make a second copy while I'm importing to go to somewhere else. So if I had a backup device, then I could back it up automatically while importing. File renaming, I don't do anything with renaming files, but if you wanted to name those files by a specific location perhaps, then you can just click on rename files. You can change this to use a custom name, and then you can just type the name in there. So I might type in garden and only import these few files up here. But I'm not going to rename anything, so I'm quite happy with it, with the default. Then we have apply during import. So in a previous video we created a preset that I can use when I'm going to import these images. So if we go down to user presets and choose import preset, then this is something that's only going to apply clarity and remove chromatic aberration from my photos as I import them. Now it doesn't really take a whole load of time or save me a lot of time to apply those two presets, or sorry, to apply that preset to those two settings when I import. But it's just another step I don't need to worry about when I'm doing the development. And we can also apply some keywords to these photos. So let's just type in some keywords here. I'm going to put South Wales into this. Most of these photos are South Wales. The way to only do the South Wales ones is if I click that checkbox. Should be unclick that check. So that's unselected the images in there, and now I'm only going to apply the ones I took in South Wales, and those will have the ones with the keywords applied to it. If I then that's a bug, because I should be able to select all of these and switch these on. So this is going to apply those keywords to all of these images. The next thing we have in here is the destination. So this is where I'm going to copy my images to. So I've got a folder set up automatically in here called tutorial, and it's giving me a little preview of how it's going to create the folders within that the subfolders within that folder for these images. So I'm going to have one folder created as 20150307. That was the date I took some of those photos on, and the other one is 20150320, which is the date I took all the other photos on. Now I'm quite happy to do it by date, because what I will do later in another video is I'll show you how you use collections to actually put all of these photos together by location, or some other characteristic for that photo. We can always of course put them into a subfolder. So if I had a folder in here called 2015, then I might choose that folder for 2015 as my destination, and then it'll put it in by the date I specified. But I can also then say, okay, I only want these folders to go into a specific location. So for example, if I was up in London and I had shot Waterloo Bridge and Westminster and Tower Bridge, I can then choose the photos that I want to import just by checking or unchecking the different images, and then I can then put them into a subfolder within that date. But I'm going to leave it as the default. I've got my location, and so that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to import these now. We do that just by clicking the import button, and we'll see that it starts to import these photos. Now this is going to take a little while to do, so I'm just going to pause the video at this point, and we'll catch up shortly. Right, okay, so we've imported all of these images, and if we now expand up the folders, we can see that they've put them into the specific folders that were indicated. And now we're ready to go with doing other things, such as applying more keywords, or doing some development, and basically just choosing the photos that we're going to work on. Now while you can work with folders, then there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. If that's what you're comfortable doing, then I go ahead and continue that way. I personally don't. I find it much easier to actually work by saying, okay, like you to show me all the photos you took of your garden. Well, I can never remember which photos I took of my garden, so I would rather work with that. There's no way to import the images like that directly, so what we need to do is we need to start using collections, and that's what we'll look at in the next tutorial. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon.